Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Farming Simulator 2022. Today we're going to talk about greenhouses. There's something really satisfying about a greenhouse in Farming Simulator 2022 because you can actually see the things growing short term in front of you. You can choose whether to sell them, store them or distribute them. But how do you get it started? Well, I'm going to show you how. So you fancy getting some greenhouses going in Farming Simulator 2022, but you don't know how to do it. Building the greenhouses is quite straightforward, but how do you get water there? Well, as you can see, you're going to need some specialist equipment, and I'm going to show you how to go and get that. So first off, let's talk about getting some greenhouses. I've picked a nice spot of land by which I think I'm going to put some greenhouses on it. How do you do it? So quite easy. On the PC, left shift, hit P, and then it'll bring up your building menu. Here we are, here is the building menu. And you go into production, and you can see greenhouses. You've got small greenhouses for 3,000, and you can rotate them and place them where you want. You've got medium greenhouses for 5,000, and you've got great big stonking massive greenhouses that you can put on a particular piece of land in Farming Simulator 2022 and grow all sorts of gubbins in there. At the moment, strawberries, lettuce are doing pretty well, and also some tomatoes. So space out your greenhouses on the land how you want them. I've got two small, two medium, and see I've got some great big honking big ones there as well. I've got three big ones right at the back. Couldn't really squeeze another one on, but hey, never mind. So building the greenhouse is one part of it. That's the easy part. You'll notice there's a water tank outside each one of them. But how do you get that water? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's what I'm going to show you to do it. This is key to growing anything in a greenhouse. As you're probably finding by now, to make anything, grow anything, build anything is going to start costing the dollar. And get yourself over to your local shop. Here I am at Clever Motors. This is where I'm going to get all the materials and equipment that I need to start growing things in my greenhouses. So I bought a transportation device of some sort. And what else typically uses water in this game? Well, I'll tell you. Everything. But in particularly, animals, livestock. Clicking on the little box for packages and then clicking on animals will show you the quickest way to get to a water tank. The Joskin Aquatrans. Now, this is the smallest tank you can get, 7,300 litres of water, and it only carries water. There will be other things here that will carry a number of things, and there's all these other items as well you can buy. Now, this Aquatrans 7,300 water tank is what you can tow with a tractor. So you don't have to go out and buy a big truck, because that's going to be an expense. And if you're early on in the game, you won't have that sort of money. So I'm going to go and buy myself a particular little tractor, you know, a medium tractor that I can get, and I'm going to get all that set up. Once I've got my tractor and I've bought that, I'm going to park it outside, and once I've parked it outside, I can hook it up to the trailer. Once I've got the trailer, I can start going collecting water. No dramas. Now, for some reason, I find it really difficult to hitch the tractor to the water tank that I'd bought, and I found it best doing it from inside the cab, looking out the back window and doing it that way. When you get close enough, press Q and you'll hook up to your tractor, and then you're ready to go. You can then start driving back to your farm, ready to go and fill up. But first off, you're going to need some water. And where are you going to get that? There's a couple of water sources around the map, but right next to the shop there's also one. This is part one, free water. This is going to cost you nothing from a general water source. There it is, right next to the shop. We're going to drive with our tractor and our tank down to the shoreline, the side of this little lake. Open up your help menu. You'll see R is now illuminated for starting to fill. You can press R, and then what's going to happen then? You guessed it, you're going to fill your tank full of water. Now this takes a little while, but you get the general idea. And this is free water. What do I mean by free water? It's not costing you anything. The other methods I'll show you have a cost attached. Now, once you've filled your tank full of all that lovely water, and you can see I got 7,300 litres there, to get back to your greenhouses, because they need some water. So, off we go. We're driving back to the farm. If you're in new farmer mode and the farm's been set up for you, you will notice there is a water tank next to a stream. This is not free water. It will charge you, but it is the second method of how you get water in the game. There you go. I've said it. You can fill up from here and stop you going back to a water source. Depends how much of a frugal farmer you are and if you've got any money or not. Once you've got your water from wherever, the two methods that I've shown you, it's time to go and get your tractor and maneuver it down next to the water tanks of the greenhouses, right? Once you get close, you can see I has been illuminated on my controls and I can start overloading. What this means is I can start extracting the water from that tank to that greenhouse. And you can see I've got several greenhouses. This is going to take me a while. Once it gets to that particular point, I have filled that particular greenhouse and I can move on to the next one and fill that next greenhouse up with water as well until my tank is empty, and then I have to go and get more water either from a common source or from my water tank that I've got on the farm as well, and so on and so forth. And that is typically how you fill up your greenhouses with water. A bit laborious, and you may want to get a bigger truck, and that way you can do things a bit quicker, but you'll have to space out your greenhouses, probably not so compact as what I've done. But you get the general idea. It's a bit of a grind, I think, but you know, that's how you generally got to do it. Unless you want to use a bigger patch of land where you can get an Arctic semi down there and a bigger truck. And here I am, you see, going to the water tank. I'm filling, and you can see the money decreasing in the top right-hand corner. So it's not free water. Anyway, once you've got that tank filled, back and rinse and repeat at the greenhouses. So all that is fantastic. That's all well and good. You've built your greenhouses. You've got a tractor. You've got a tank. From somewhere, you've got water. Whether it's a lake or whether you've paid for it out of the main water system. Next thing is, once you've filled your greenhouses full of water, it's time to decide what you want to grow in it. And that's all well and good. Let's get into first person mode and get into a greenhouse. Okay, so let's open the door. So you've got double doors here, and then you've got the little spanner, which means you can get in. Let's open that middle door. In we go, and you can see we've got, if you go a little bit closer, we've got a manage production point, and you can see this part in the menu. This is where you can select what particular crop you want to grow inside your particular greenhouse, and you've got all your greenhouses that you've got listed there on the left hand side. So if you want to grow strawberries in a large greenhouse, select strawberries and then select activate. Now it'll say you might not have any materials there or materials missing. This means you haven't got yourself round with your trailer and your tank to fill that greenhouse water butt up with water. So that's something you're going to have to do. Right, so that one there, you see, I'm going to have lettuce. If I say activate, it'll say, no worries, you've got materials missing. Great, I get it. I've got to fill that one up with water as well. And the dot next to that particular crop will be red. The ones that have water have got a little blue dot, you see, right next to them. And that's fine. And you know instantaneously where you need to put water. There's another visual check as well that makes things a little bit easier, and I found to be easier when finding out which ones I might have missed with putting my water in my greenhouses. It's really simple. You do a visual check. If they look like this, there's no water in the greenhouse. If they look nice, green and lush, then they've got water. And instantaneously, once you get your tractor and your tank near and start offloading, they'll turn green. So that is my little secret method, really. Decide what you're going to plant in each greenhouses. All the crops will look shriveled, like you can see here. That means they need water. Approach them, overload your water, offload your water from your tank into that greenhouse's water supply, and whatever you're growing in there, lettuce in this particular case, will then turn green. So that's a good little helpful tip on who needs water and who doesn't. Now, a mod exists as well for a fire hydrant that you can place anywhere near, and you could probably place one of those near to your greenhouse area, which would make the fact that you could fill up a little bit quicker with your tank as having to go all the way to another water tank, etc, etc. Or you could put another water tank, for example, next to a stream that's a little bit closer if you wanted to. For example, here, £3,000, $3,000, whatever you're using as in-game money, rotate it so you're at the right orientation, and then you've got another water source as well. Depends how frugal a farmer you are. Do you want cheap water or expensive water? Free water or stuff that's going to cost you the dollar? That's where we're coming from. So anyway, you've got your water, you've got your tractors, you've got your tank, you've decided what you're going to grow in your greenhouse, and things are growing. How are you going to sell it and offload it? Well, there's another method to this as well, which I'm going to show you. Here is our lovely crop of what looks to be strawberries. A little bit 2D. Hey, not to worry, you get the idea. They're growing away quite nicely. Now, the production menu. If you're in a greenhouse, you can access it straight away. If not, press the Alt-P key and you'll bring it up. So here's our production chains. So strawberries, there you are. Currently we're storing strawberries. That's great. Let's change the output mode to distributing. This means we will take our strawberries directly from the greenhouse to a place, which you will select. Okay, that's distribution. You haven't got to do anything. No problems. And perhaps the easiest way of doing things. Lettuce, for example. We know we can sell lettuce to restaurants, fast food restaurants, just across the way. Tomatoes, the grocer's mart. You can see the prices and where you can offload this particular type of produce. You can also press place and show the price fluctuations. And you get more into sort of the simulation mode. Anyway, so strawberries, there you are. Grocer mart, but you get loads at the Red Marble Bowling restaurant. So I've got some that I've selected to sell, and you can see I've got some lovely, looks like to be tomatoes there, straight off the bat. Well, you've got your pickup truck. I guess you were all wondering what happens with a pickup truck. Approach the pallet of tomatoes, dump it in the back, there you go, and then you can go off to market in your truck and sell your pallet load of tomatoes. It's as simple as that. And you can load up your truck as well to make things a bit easier, although it might be a bit difficult to carry. I found this part of the game to be a little bit needy of attention, shall we say. Anyway, here I am, and I've dropped my pallet of tomatoes yet again and fallen through the bottom of the map. And it does take a little bit of getting used to. But once you've got it, and once you've got it in the back of the van, which can be a little bit tedious to be perfectly honest, good job you can't damage this fruit, eh? You can effectively drive off to your shop and destination of choice. It's quite as simple as that. Press distribution and you can distribute directly to that particular vendor. So, always helpful if you take the tailgate down. There you go, I've loaded my tomatoes up into the cab, fold the car back up, which means I close my tailgate, and now it's time to go and find from production tomatoes. Who's the most expensive fast food restaurant? Tag the place on the map so you know where you're going. As it happens, this happens to be directly across the road from the farm. But if you're not familiar with the map, you can just head to that green column. And then once you've done that, without hitting anything or causing any traffic mayhem or destruction, head round the back to the loading bay. Approach the green section. You can see the loading bay right there. You'll be familiar with the loading bay icon. And as soon as you get into the loading bay area, you can see your tomatoes are disappearing off the back of that truck. Nice and easy. If you want that bit more tactile simulation experience within the game, which a lot of people who watch the videos do. So that's how you sell your produce from your greenhouses all the way to market or to other local businesses. So there you go, I hope you've enjoyed this video on end-to-end greenhouses. This is how you do greenhouses in Farming Simulator 2022. You place your greenhouse, you go and buy a water tank and a tractor that can pull it. You then go to either a free water source or a paid water source. You fill up those greenhouses and then you grow food and sell to local businesses. I've been Ricardo, thanks very much for watching. Check back for more videos in the series and the live streams for Farming Simulator 2022. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you have, or if you've got a better way of using greenhouses and growing more greenhouse type food. See you soon.